All right, am I live? All right, great. What's going on, everybody? It's Edwin back again for Strictly Comics, and I'm starting off this live chat out by myself this time because I did not do a haul video yesterday. Actually, nor did I do one last week. So I figured, let's do a live chat. Let me get in on my own by myself for a little bit, and just show you guys what I picked up. I picked up a lot of stuff, really, really nice stuff. Actually, last week was a super big haul for me in terms of modern comics. So let me just get right into it and show you guys what I picked up. I'm gonna start out a little bit last week. What I picked up last week. First, I picked up this right here. Oh wait, I think I already showed this. Second print. Yeah, I think I did show it. Anyways, I read this. It was cool. It was fun. Todd McFarlane cover. Really loved this. I did kind of notice something a little bit wrong that Todd McFarlane did in this book. He's here with Spawn, right? I mean, Deadpool. But Baby Spawn calls Deadpool Ryan Gosling. Now, Ryan Gosling, if I'm not mistaken, is the guy from Saved by the Bell, the blonde-headed guy, the one that was called Preppy all the time. So I think McFarlane meant to say Ryan Reynolds, and so there was a mix-up there as far as the name is concerned. So because that kind of had me puzzled. I'm like, Ryan Gosling, what are you talking about? Don't you mean Ryan Reynolds? So just one of the little errors, typos that I noticed in the book. But still, the book was fun nonetheless. I think it was about 24 pages. Had a really fun time. Very quick read, of course, but I had a good time reading that. So I grabbed that. This did come out a while ago, but one of the things I want to point out about this book right here, Lake of Fire, is it's about 48 pages. It was $3.99, which is cool. I don't have a problem with that. But 44 pages, 48 pages, like that's a lot. To me, I completely felt like I got my money's worth. And if anybody knows me, comic books now come in 20 pages standard. And when books do that, they automatically get a half of a point reduced as far as my grade for that book. So this one right here, it was a decent read. It kind of reminded me a lot of Black Acre by Image from a while ago. I was reading Black Acre and it kind of phased out. It kind of reminded me a little bit of that, but it had a little bit of twist with this whole alien thing coming into the aliens coming into the Earth during the Crusades, like, I don't know, 800, 2,000 years ago, 1,500 years ago, something like that. So nice little twist. Great idea, great concept. So I enjoyed it. I got issue number 2, which I read also. Don't know if I'm going to continue to pick it up. Although the story is not that bad, I just don't know if I can justify spending the $3.99 on the cover, on the title. It's okay. I mean, it's okay. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Also, I picked up, I think this came out last week, Demonic. I'm behind. I started reading other things. I should have been reading this, but I picked this up as well. And guys, let me know if you can hear me, if everything is okay. I don't have my other comic book bros and sister to let me know how things are going. So I'm just really kind of going off the fly right here just because I want to try this out and see how it is. Here we go. Okay, so let me see. Okay, I think I'm good. Sorry. Before I forget, let me go ahead and give some shout outs. I had a lot of new subscribers over the past month or so. If anybody's been watching my shows, know that I like to give shout outs to new subscribers. And I like to take the time just to do that really, really quick. So first, shout outs to Flip Jap Ninjak. Man, say that like 5 times in a row. Flip Jap Ninjaks. That is a cool name. Shout outs to you, man. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Tom Cass, Tomcas. Thank you for subscribing. Mario Jr. 32. Thank you very much, Mario. I like your little logo, man. You got your little Mario going like this. Thank you so much for subscribing. Dave Enrique Chang. That's like it sounds like it's a Hispanic and Asian mix there. Dave and Enrique Chang. Cool, man. You know, biracial. Cool. Mercenaut subscribe. I like watching Mercenaut a lot. The brother knows his stuff, man. This brother knows his stuff. And he knows his stuff because everybody's watching him. So great brother, great brother. Also, I don't see a lot of African Americans involved in comic books, so that is definitely a really cool thing. So shout outs to Mercenaut. Nick M subscribed about a month or so ago. Thank you so much, Nick, for subscribing. Sebastian Giuliano, shout outs to you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Is Lord 372. Shout out to you, bro. PGH Zombie. Kind of a cool little picture for his channel. PGH Zombie. Thank you so much for subscribing. Big to do. I've heard of Big to do. I know him from the Comic Book Fanatics community. Shout outs to you, man. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Darth Lego. Shout outs to you. Thank you, Darth. May the force be with you. The Great Legend Show. What up, man? Hey, I've been watching some of your stuff. I know you are also involved in the comic book community. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. 1475 Inferno, 1475 Inferno, all one word. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. And last but not least, I got 133 RY. So I'm thinking 133 Rai. Did I get that right? Maybe so. I don't know. What's up, 133? How you doing? Just wanted to say thank you so much for subscribing. Hope you enjoy our videos, but not just my videos. I hope you're enjoying videos from everybody else in the comic book community, because there's a lot of good people out there that's doing some really good stuff. So, man, what a great time for being a comic book nerd, huh? Definitely a great time, that's for sure. All right, so let me get right back into my haul that I was doing. I also have this right here I picked up this week. Death of X. Justin and I hopefully are going to talk about this, and anybody else who wants to come on and talk about this. I read this. I was looking forward to this. Yeah, I ain't going to say nothing, but I got it, and we'll talk about it. So I picked that up. Also this week, oh, man, this was fun. He-Man Thundercats, #1. Man, like when I seen this, I was like, oh, man, it's got to be like one of the first books I got to read. And it was, man. I read like this was fun. This was fun. And I can't wait to talk about this. Hopefully I can talk about this with somebody else who maybe has read this book. If anybody doesn't know, if you watch Batman and TMNT, it's the same artist. Freddie Williams. Is it Freddie Williams? Freddie Williams II. Freddie E. Williams II. Great artist. It has this crayon pencil look type of art, and I actually really enjoyed it. I liked it because I thought it went really well with the time period in which these characters came into existence. So this was really fun. Really fun read. Really looking forward to the rest of the issues that are going to be coming out. I also picked up Cannibal #1. It's going to be some heavy indie stuff today, guys. Heavy indie stuff. I got Cannibal #1. Have not read yet, but really want to read. Really trying hard with this whole indie thing, so I grabbed that. Also, I picked up Green Valley #1. The Green Valley #1. Really looking forward to getting into this. Don't really know what this is about, but there was a lot of Image #1s that came out this week, and I just don't think you can go wrong with an Image #1, so I picked this up. Also, I grabbed Moonshine #1. Moonshine #1. I picked this up. I think that the variant cover has a Frank Miller cover. There's like a wolf and looks like a cowboy or something like that on the variant cover. It's a blue variant. I wanted the regular cover, so they had one of these. I forget what this is about, but I grabbed this, and hopefully it turns out to be a really good read. Also, I picked up this week another Image #1, Romulus. Romulus #1 looks like a cool read, so gonna get into this weekend for sure. Really can't wait. God, man, it's gonna be some good reading going on this weekend. So, you know, if you guys have read this, or let me know, man, because it's definitely hashtag indie age, indie era, indie age. Jose, I think indie age. So it's definitely the time to be scooping up those indie books because there's really good stories. Let me see where I'm at real quick. What else did I get? Oh, here we go. Batman #8. I got. Let me. All right, Batman #8. I got Batman #8. I'm still pretty behind, but I don't think I have a problem catching up with this. I can catch up with this pretty quickly. Right now, I'm about 4 or 5 issues behind, but I'll burn through those. Y'all know how fast these new modern reads are, so I grabbed that. I can catch up with this. Also, I got Eclipse #2. Eclipse #2, another Image title. So I'm really going to be getting into that along with Eclipse #1. Let's see here. I also got Spawn 266. This is a really cool cover. You got Eric Larson along with Todd McFarlane inking, and it's just, what does he say, man? He says, "This isn't what I had in mind for a crossover." So we got a little bit of a crossover here from Spawn and Savage Dragon. So this is kind of cool. Eric Larson's artwork, which is okay. He's not as good as he was back in the early 90s when he was doing Spider-Man, in my opinion, but he's probably doing like 2 or 3 books now just by himself. So I can totally understand why there isn't a whole lot of time spent on one title. He's just doing so much. But Savage Dragon has been pretty consistent. Spawn has definitely been pretty consistent, especially over the past year. So we're just getting closer to that 300 mark. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. Sorry, had to send a message out. So I picked that up. And I think that is it. Yeah, that's all the books that I got this week. I think I got like, what is it, like 10 books or something like that. It was a lot of books. It was a lot of books for comic books this week. Also, guys, on the live chat, as soon as everybody else comes on, we're going to be talking about Luke Cage. Has anybody out there been watching Luke Cage? I watched the first couple of episodes, started the third, but did not get a chance to finish it. Let me go to the chat here for a second. Dynamite Crip, what's up, man? How's it going, Dynamite? Thank you so much for joining. Exile State, waiting for you to come on, bro. So come on, Justin, whenever you're ready. Tim, Lords of the Long Box. I don't know if he's watching, but he was saying something in here. What's going on, Tim? How you doing, man? I always enjoy your show, man. Keep up doing what you're doing, man. We also got Drainer 32. Thank you, Drainer, for joining. We also got EHTX #1. What's up, man? How you doing? I forget your name. Is it Craig, Chris? Please forgive me, man. Please forgive me. See, usually when I do these live chats, I'm so involved with trying to manage things, make sure everything is all right, that I'm kind of relying a little bit on Justin or Jose or somebody else just to kind of help keep me up with the chat, because I don't get a great video upload speed. So I try to close all my tabs out and all that stuff. And so a lot of times I don't really get a chance to see everything that's going on in the chat. Iculus, what's going on, Ick? I call him Ick. Iculus. Iculus is everywhere, man. Iculus is everywhere, just like Justin said in his video yesterday. Iculus is everywhere. Redbeard, how's it going, man? Redbeard. Eric. Okay, that's what it. I'm sorry, Eric, man. I'm sorry. Eric, man. Eric was like one of my very first subscribers. Eric is here in Texas. I remember when he came on board like 3 years ago. So shout outs to you, Eric. Thank you so much, man. Jack Yo. Yeah, you're right, man. Jack Yo says Luke Cage is so cool. Now, I've been hearing some mixed reviews about this because I heard some people say that they were bored with Luke Cage. I think Marty and a few other people said that they were bored. Some people thought it was cool. Some people said it was slow. I could definitely see that, how it was kind of slow, but you know, you have to set this stuff up. Looking at this video, this Netflix video, when we get on to Jessica Jones. What's going on, Justin?
What's up? Hold on.
Okay. I'll go ahead and finish rambling.
No. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No. What you got, man? What you got?
No. I was just coming on. I still had the video going, so I was getting you double in my ears.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you don't want two of me in your ear, that's for sure. So, so I was talking about actually just getting into Luke Cage, but what I'll do is I'm gonna turn the platform over to you, if you don't mind, and let you kind of talk about I don't know, man. How about we talk about what you've been doing this week, or we can get into Death of X or Luke Cage, whatever you want to do, man. What are you thinking?
I mean, we can go with, you said that you went through the first two episodes of Luke Cage, started the third.
Yeah. And what did you do? Tell everybody what you did.
Oh, I killed the whole thing, man. I watched it all.
Yeah, you did.
Like I watched the first 3 episodes before lunch last Friday. Like I was just,
oh my gosh,
I was just killing through that thing. And I mean, I really think I was done by Sunday at some point. So
I don't have it open right now, but is it 13 episodes total for the season?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was really well done. Like the whole, even throughout the changes that happen later on. The one thing that I was disappointed in is that you don't see any of the other defenders. Like you figured at some point Daredevil would show up, or maybe Jessica would run in, but no, they don't. So just take that out off the table. You don't get to see any other superheroes.
And that's a good point, because I don't think we'll lay out any spoilers out there or anything like that, but it definitely is like the beginning stages of Luke Cage. And if you're going in there with the anticipation that it's going to be just like Jessica Jones, it's not. Yeah. Which I found to be very interesting. Also, I like the fact that it doesn't need to go in this very big blockbuster type of setting to have a good show. The story is very simple. Your criminals are very simple, and the hero you're starting to see is very simple. It's not very complex to follow or get into. They made it very simple, which I do like a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. And then later on, when they actually do his backstory and his origin and stuff like that, I think they handled that well. Even though they changed it a bit from the books, they still do, like, there's a throwback to his old look and stuff. So it's really cool once you get to that point just to see that. But yeah, like you said, with these street level characters like Daredevil, like Luke Cage, you can confine them to a small area. It doesn't have to be this global event. It's just them cleaning up their neighborhood. It's them like saying, I'm tired of my neighborhood with all this trash in it. I'm going to take out the trash.
Exactly. It reminded me a lot of, if you read comics back in like the 70s or 80s, how the stories were just very simplistic and like maybe one or two issues,
Mm-hmm.
where now in comics, it's like everything has to be this gigantic event. So I kind of took that the same way with this story. It was simple, and they weren't really trying to build this giant event. But at the same time, man, this is a great to be a comic book nerd, because you're getting to see all your comic book heroes
Mm-hmm.
in video and TV form, man. This is a great time right now.
Oh yeah, even Misty Knight. I can't remember the actress that plays her, but she did a really good job. So I mean, just adding in more of these characters as we're going to be seeing them, and I mean that gets me a little bit more pumped up, because then you got to go like, man, all right, well, where did Misty Knight first appear, and where's a good storyline for her? So it makes you kind of go back and find other books that you wouldn't have normally looked for,
Oh yeah, man. And can you imagine the crossovers? I mean, you're gonna have Daredevil, and you're probably gonna have Iron Fist when he comes on board. All these crossovers, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of Jessica Jones. Now, I don't know if these people have already been in the first season, because I've only gone over the first 2 episodes, but man, it'd just be great to see all that happen.
Yeah, I guess we're not going to actually get them all together until the actual Defender series, which will be after Iron Fist.
Justin, while we're talking about this, man, what are your thoughts about, like, okay, so I'm going to use Batman, for instance, Justice League. Justice League is getting ready to be set up. Well, it's already been set up, but you have a different Flash in the movie versus another Flash in the TV series. Same thing with a different Superman, probably a different Supergirl, so on and so forth. Do you think like the same people that are in the TV series are good enough or should be in the upcoming movies? Because I do.
Oh, I mean, I definitely do too. Like Grant Gustafson, who plays the Flash on TV, he's Barry Allen. Like he's playing the character the way it should be done. Other than he's supposed to have blonde hair. I'm gonna get nitpicky there. The same thing with Arrow, Stephen Amell. Like he should definitely just be brought over to the movies. I would think. Like I can see why they didn't, because of contracts and things like that. And like I said, the way I go into it and the way I think about it is the TV stuff is, DC Universe 42, and the movie universe is DC Universe 57, and they're just on different Earths.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good idea. Multiverse effect. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think it's a good idea to be consistent all the way across the board, because if anybody remembers, like when a movie sequel will come out, I'll just use Lethal Weapon, for example. Mm-hmm. You got Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4. You got the same characters in all of them. Mm-hmm. So once people saw like Joe Pesci coming, or people saw that Mel Gibson was coming on board, just seeing the consistency in the characters that you have this emotional attachment with from the previous films or times that you saw them will carry on and make that experience so much more better into the future films and TV series. So I think they, like DC, Marvel, they got to get their contracts right, man, because I think it'd be really important to see these same people that are in these Netflix series be on the big screen. I mean, how cool would that be?
Well, now for Marvel, I think it's different. Like, I don't think they're going to cast somebody else as Daredevil. Like, if they're going to have Daredevil show up in Avengers Infinity War 1 or 2 or something later on, it's still going to be Charlie Cox. Like, I think their contracts are worked where they can appear, like, in those. But for DC, I don't know if the movie stuff just came along so far after like Arrow started, really, that they couldn't change things up. I'm not sure, but Marvel's got it to where everybody who's playing somebody is going to be playing that character wherever that character appears, I think.
Yeah. Eric says Luke Cage was awesome. I feel like Luke Cage is the new Shaft, which I can see, and Misty Knight is the new Foxy Brown. Definitely had a 60s, 70s vibe to it, just with hip hop. Yeah, he's absolutely right. I mean, you catch a Biggie Smalls in the background wearing that.
Not even that. It's just all the bands or acts that play at was it Harlem's Paradise? Is that the name of the bar or the club?
I think so.
Yeah, like there are some outstanding acts that play in that place throughout the series. So really good music throughout it. The only thing about Luke,
and
go ahead.
no, what's up, bro?
No, I was just saying the only thing about Luke Cage is he is like the most reluctant hero in the world. Like you got to push him and push him and push him before he's going to do anything. Like, Luke, you need to get out there and help. Nah. Luke, you need to get out there and help. Nah. Luke, they're shooting everybody. Nah. Luke, they blew up a building. Okay. You know?
That's be a lot of casualties first for him to do something, huh?
Right. And I mean,
oh yeah,
you can understand that he's hiding out doing his thing, but
yeah, there was a big, and I don't think we're going to spoil too much here, but there was a big deal with Luke Cage just keeping his secret and not letting people know who he is. And it reminded me a little bit of Man of Steel. Remember in Man of Steel where Clark Kent's dad died in the hurricane or tornado or whatever? All for the sake of saving his identity. And I'm like,
whatever. Superman could have made it there, grabbed him, been back underneath the bridge. Nobody would have even noticed.
Exactly. I'm like, I get it, but is it really that important? I mean, you're invincible. You know, Luke Cage, he's
pretty
invincible. I think that, yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty invincible. So I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. Overall, though, it was a good series. I can't wait for like a season 2. I don't know if they're going to do a season 2 of Luke. I hope they don't. And let me say why I don't. I hope we don't get another season 2 of Luke Cage. And I hope we don't get a season 2 of Iron Fist, even though we haven't seen it. Their season number 2 needs to be Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Heroes for Hire.
Oh, yeah.
They need to, because
no doubt.
Throughout Luke Cage, it is... Man, somebody should hire you. Somebody should pay you for doing this stuff. Like, they're planting the seeds for Heroes for Hire throughout that movie, or throughout the first season of Luke Cage. Just every episode, somebody says something to him about, like, he should get paid for this, or can they hire him for this, or something like that. So they're planting the seed for that totally. I hope that's what they do.
Yeah, so you're definitely seeing the setup here. I got to be honest, I don't know a lot about that or really Luke Cage and Iron Fist. I just remember seeing those titles in the 80s and stuff like that.
Mm.
But I think it's a great idea, man, for all that stuff just to intertwine with each other, man. That's why I said this is just, man, it's a great time for comic book lovers all across the board.
Oh, without a doubt. There's TV, you know, Arrow and Flash just started back up this week. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s going on. We got Doctor Strange coming out in just a few weeks. So, yeah, there's always something going on. I'm super, super pumped. We also had, like, new news out of DC this week that Wildstorm's coming back. Man, you don't even know how pumped I am about that.
All right, hold on. Let's get into that just for a second. Quick shout out to Biggie's Comics. He says, Luke Cage show was okay. The music was cool, but it was kind of boring. I think he doesn't need his own show. He'll be better with just the Defenders. I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with Big E. Sorry, Big E's, man. I'm really liking Luke Cage right now. Also, there's not a lot of main black roles for black actors out right now. It seems like even in The Walking Dead, every time a black actor comes up, they shoot him or they kill him off, only to replace him maybe with another one. So I think this is a good idea, especially for, you know, all the hatred out there with you know, the conflict with African Americans and cops and stuff like that. You're getting a black actor in a main role, and hey, let's just face it, the ladies like him. The ladies like Luke Cage. My wife sure ain't complaining. So
Mike Coulter, I think's his name. Mike Coulter.
I think so. You know, everybody's like, take off your shirt. Take off your shirt.
They're just like, that was half the appeal to Jessica Jones for, I guess, all the ladies.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So back to what you were saying, man. You were talking about DC and Wildcats. I don't know if you've got anything to say, or you want to give any plug to comicbook.com or what you guys have been writing about or whatever, but give us something, man. What you got?
We got the exclusive went to another website for that one, but I'm super pumped. I grew up with the early Image stuff, so Wildcats, Stormwatch, Grifter, all that kind of stuff was, really important to me in my comic book development. So I know they've tried to relaunch them a couple times. So this is going to be, especially now with everything they've done with Rebirth and how good that's been as a whole. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with the Wildstorm universe. I think it's going to come back as Wildstorm issue 1, and then they're going to expand it, and Wildcats will get a book from there and stuff like that. But Warren Ellis is coming back to write it all. So it's going to be great right there. I'm not sure who's doing the art. I think they announced, but I can't remember. But I'm super excited to see where they're going to go with these characters. I'm glad to see that they're getting another chance with a lot of what DC's doing, like with DC, like Shade the Changing Girl and the book from last week, Doom Patrol. Like they're doing, what is it, like DC Young something?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember. So just really pumped to see those characters again more than anything.
Now, how different is? I remember, was it Wildcats that had the cartoon back in the '90s?
Yeah, they had like a season
or two. Yeah, and Wildcats and Stormwatch, they're both Jim Lee properties, right? Right. Now, does Wildcats still belong to Image, or have they moved on to DC as well?
They moved on. That's like, because there was Grifter had his own series in New 52 that went like, what did it go, like 15 issues, something like that. Voodoo, she had her own book. They did Wildcats like pre-New 52. Also over at DC. So all that stuff moved over. Basically, everything that was under the Wildstorm brand moved over to DC when Jim Lee went to DC.
Okay, because I remember the cartoon vaguely that we were talking about. I also remember hearing what's his name, Rob Liefeld, talking about it was a bad idea because they tried to come at him with doing a Youngblood cartoon. He's like, it's a bad idea, and people were like, why? Well, he was like, because it's not going to be done right. You're trying to do these type of characters. You're pushing it too fast. Well, not just that, but you're doing these type of adult characters in a kiddie form. Mm-hmm. And look at it like this. Let's say they take Deadpool and they make him in a kiddie form where they're targeting 10-year-olds. You're going to have to dumb and water Deadpool way down.
They do. He's on Spider-Man Unlimited.
Yeah, but
he's just a crazy, wacky cartoon character, Yeah,
but don't you think that the R-rated Deadpool really is who Deadpool is versus the yeah, he's funny and stuff like that on the Spider-Man cartoon, but man, I just like the R-rated version of Deadpool so much better.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you completely. That's what he should be. But that's where you're getting all this Deadpool merchandise going like crazy. It's because all these kids have seen him on the Spider-Man cartoon and he was funny, and now there's a movie, so he must be really cool. So let's go buy all the stuff.
Biggie says, what did he say? Eric actually said he definitely agrees Luke Cage and Iron Fist together. That would be awesome. I would think so as well. Biggie's also says in that sense, or
oh my gosh,
but it's a sense, or as a black actor in the leading role, I think it's wonderful. But look at through the point of view as just a person in a leading role, it was still too slow paced for me, which I can definitely see that. You do have to build up the story. But okay, so going back to Luke Cage real quick, what about the effects? I mean, the effects were cool. I mean, did you see that part where he punched him, that first punch to his face, and like his wrists,
dude, broke his hand,
fractured, and man, that was some really cool stuff right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything they did, and that was the good thing about Luke Cage too, from a production standpoint, is you didn't really have didn't have powers that you had to manifest. You had a guy that when you hit him with stuff, it would bend or bounce off of him. Super easy to do. But
I like where he Remember where he took the gun from the kid and just put it to his own side and
Yeah.
busted a cap in himself and didn't do anything. So
Yep.
sorry guys, trying not to spoil too much, but I don't know. I just liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. Is this Rez trying to come in and out here? Are we seeing Rez trying to
Yeah.
connect here?
She must be getting set up.
Okay.
Must be getting set up. Well,
So we'll just
we got to read Eculus's comment here. This is
Okay.
deeply sad. He said, sorry, guys, have to vent for a minute, as I have the comic bummer of the day. And this is indeed a bummer, everybody. Eculus ordered all 3 covers of 7 to Eternity. They were delivered today, but the box was open and empty. So he's out $50.
Where do you live, man?
It's horrible.
That really, really sucks. Yeah. I stay in an apartment complex, so all my stuff goes to the office, and I actually have to go there and pick it up. But, man, that does suck. Who else had that same experience? Wasn't it Ray Jr.? Didn't Ray Jr. have that same experience? He said that he ordered something off eBay, and they just left it at his door, and there was no box or something like that. Like nothing was there, even though it was saying it was delivered.
That'd be horrible. That was such a good book, too, Eculus. Man, you got to find it.
Oh, man, that sucks.
And I've already seen that. It first issue of that book is now selling for over $10 everywhere, even at my shop. So, doesn't matter what cover. I think that was one of those that nobody ordered enough of.
Yeah, I guess. Iculus says Deadpool has to be R-rated. Venom needs to be also. I think so. I definitely think Venom needs to be, especially if it does well enough to where you're looking at a franchise to where maybe even Carnage can come on board. Carnage does not need to be in a PG-13 movie. Carnage needs to be R all the way.
Man, somebody was talking about they should do a standalone Carnage movie, like a solo Carnage movie. I'm like, no. Who would go see that? Other than you would get comic book fans that would go see that, but you're not going to pull in the average Joe who knows who Spider-Man is. The average Joe doesn't know who Carnage is. It's just like a weird, gooey Spider-Man guy or something. We don't know. Nobody's going to see that. They have to be together for it to make sense.
Absolutely, man. You're right. I don't think a lot of people would know who Carnage is except for us nerds, but I think a lot of people. I think Venom has more of an. People know who Venom is more so, and even then, I mean, I even think Venom would be kind of shaky, especially the way they did the last Spider-Man film. I don't know if people would rush to go see a Venom film. I mean, it has to be really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with him in it, no. And the way they're going to go with the current Spider-Man, there's no way he'll ever show up because Venom doesn't show up until way later, and this Peter Parker is still in high school, so he's like a freshman in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see us getting Venom anytime soon unless they went the Agent Venom route and put him in Guardians or something.
Okay. See, now you getting me started, Justin. You getting me started. You talking about Agent Venom, man. You talking about Agent Venom. I remember listening to interviews about McFarlane talking about how Venom became so popular that they wanted to hero him up to market him more. And look, let's just face it, man. When you look at Venom, Venom is who he is, and he's most marketable, and he's most embraced by everybody when he is a villain. He is a villain. He needs to stay a villain. His battles and him being such a threat to Spidey usually always makes for a great story. So I think they need to keep him as a villain and do away with this whole Agent Venom stuff and just bring him back to his roots.
But they can't now because they've been to the symbiote homeworld and they understand what symbionts are all about now. And they fixed them all.
They fixed them all?
Yeah, it's like
where they shoot Flash with the drug or whatever?
It was in the last series of Guardians of the Galaxy prior to Secret Wars.
Okay.
They actually go to the symbiote homeworld because while Agent Venom is a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, he's out in the universe, doing stuff out in the galaxy. Everybody's like, everywhere they go, bars and stuff, people call him names and call him scum and stuff because he's got a symbiote, and they recognize that he's a symbiote. So eventually that leads them to go to the planet where the symbiotes are from and figure it all out.
I didn't know that, man. That actually sounds pretty interesting. I know you do a lot more reading than I do, so.
Well, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. I've really been on that series. Brian Michael Bendis has been writing it, since like 2013, 2014? So, but that alone was really good. You know, it explains more of the symbiotes. So if they could ever get Carnage back to that planet, they would fix Carnage too. But they bond.
Man.
But that's the thing, though, is they bond. Whoever they bond to, they take on like those traits. So Cletus Cassidy gets Carnage. He's already crazy. Carnage is going to be amplified crazy. If Carnage had gone on to like a little girl eating a lollipop, Carnage would be like just ultimate little girl protector, you know, like.
So is that why Carnage and Silver Surfer never worked out?
Yeah. Yeah, Norton Rand's too good.
So let's segue on into that. Let's talk a little bit about the reboot. I watched your video. You talked about Marvel rebooting.
Oh yeah.
With the Marvel Now, you picked up a few number ones. I only picked up the Death of X. We don't need to talk about that right now, but
Champions.
What do you think about this whole another reboot by Marvel?
So far, so good. So far,
okay.
so good.
I'll take your word for it.
I mean, we're on week 1. I wasn't really knowing what to expect. They're not renumbering all the books, like Doctor Strange. We got the red Marvel Now logo, but this is still issue 12. So they're like doing double numbers because it's number 1 and number 12. So we'll see. But Champions was actually really, really good. It was better than I thought. It's basically Miss Marvel just kind of being fed up with the way the Avengers do things and kind of wanting to start her own group, really. She's the kind of catalyst for it. And to see all these other characters kind of brought into it, there's even a point at which, you know, she stops the Hulk from doing something because that's not the way they should be doing it.
So she's just a pissed off band member that says, I want to go do my own band, do my own thing because we can't get along.
Basically.
So she's like Axl Rose, right? Axl Rose, yeah.
Yeah. But then she gets, I mean, and don't let, you know, the big thing was everybody was like, oh, sweet, Cyclops is on the cover. Cyclops shows up for one panel at the end. Don't buy this book because you think Cyclops is all in it. Young Cyclops.
The deception.
I know.
Deception by these movie books, man.
So
what's the old phrase, never judge a book by its cover?
Well, that's comic books in general. Never, ever rely on the cover to tell you anything about what's in the book. Half the time, two characters will be fighting on the cover, and they never even talk to each other in the book. So that's just kind of how it goes. Also, Jessica Jones, picked up that one this week, the new Jessica Jones series. If you're a fan of the TV show, you'll like half of this book. If you're a fan of the Netflix series, because it's
and the
not.
Other half?
The other half is if you're a fan of the original Alias series, you'll like this book because it's not like it's Brian Michael Bendis writing his character. He didn't change it to go along with what you saw on the Netflix stuff, but you'll like what they carried over from Alias into the Netflix series in this book. You know what I'm saying? And because they don't have Marvel Max now anymore, they slap the big parental advisory sticker, not for kids, on here. If you can see that. So that's their way around that. So kids, don't pick that one up.
I see that. Actually, market-wise, to me, that would sell more books saying, what does it say again for mature readers?
No, it just says parental advisory, not for kids. That's pretty much
Yeah, so just like when you were buying your albums back in the day, you see that parental advisory.
Yep.
You pick it up because mom and dad don't want you to have. They want you to have the clean version. I'm like, I want the one that just cusses and is a whole bunch of filth. So that market-wise, that would probably sell more comics versus the whole. What did you say it was Marvel Max?
Yeah, Marvel Max was what when the original that was their adult line basically, where they could tell more adult stories. Back when the
Could you imagine the approved comic codes and what they're thinking right now?
Comic Code Authority. Jeez.
Yeah, the Comic Code Authority. Yeah, they're probably like, oh, I can't believe it. What are they doing?
I guess everybody got rid of them, right? They haven't been on books in a
They
while.
did. They didn't know. Not since like 2011, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jackie says, no one has ever bought a book for young Cyclops. I know. He's horrible. Send them all. Send all the young X-Men back. Just send them back. Except
I know,
Jean.
right? I need to.
We'll keep Jean because we need to have a Jean Grey, but
I would agree with that, but then she would die also eventually.
But she already knows of everything. Well, yeah, eventually, yeah. Something stupid will happen. But she knows to stay away from Phoenix stuff. She knows to never go near the Shi'ar. She, she's learned her lessons because she's able to read up on her future self that died like 19 times.
Yeah, really. Icula says the Carnage lollipops. What flavor is that exactly? I don't know.
I think that'd be like a ghost pepper flavor.
Nice. Ghost pepper. What about like bloody red or red cherry or something like that?
Yeah. Be like candy apple cherry. What?
Okay, so let's talk a little bit. What else do you have anything else for the Marvel Now, the reboots? Is there anything else that you want to add?
I mean, we can talk about this real quick before everybody gets on or whatever, because I know nobody else will have read this, but He-Man Thundercats.
Oh, man.
Did you read it?
I read it. Hold on just a second. Rez's mute is not on, so I'm assuming she's trying to... Rez, we can't hear you or see you, but if you can let us know that you're alive and you're there, it'd be great. If not... Oh, there you are. Okay. How you doing, Rez?
I'm all right. I've been peeking in and out.
Okay. I just didn't want to exclude you or anything. So, hey, go ahead.
I was just saying, Red, I thought you were having problems because you'd come in and go out. I'm like, she's getting set up. She's about to be here.
Yeah. I was trying to fix my little icon thing. And it's acting out of whack. I don't know what's going on with it.
All right. Let's Justin brought up Thundercats. We'll talk about that real quick since he brought that up, and then we'll get on to Rez. I did read it, Justin, and I had a lot of fun with it. I actually asked you a question on your video, and I know you probably won't answer it until Wednesday. If you want to answer it now, that'd be great, or I can just throw this out to the chat. But this is, to me, the second 80s crossover with our favorite childhood cartoons. This was a lot of fun, man. I really enjoyed this. And not only that, I think this was 24 pages. Comic books now on average are about 20. Mm-hmm. I got about 24 pages of comic here for my price. So with the price, I kind of felt like I got my money's worth. And the twist at the end, oh my goodness. We're not going to give any spoilers, but man, this was such a really good read.
It's like a quadruple double cross.
Yes. And then did you see the middle? Did you see the middle, what happened to Prince Adam?
Yeah.
I won't say nothing, but when I seen that, I was like, what? Already?
I'm like, this is already over. What's going on?
I know, right?
It was way better than I thought. Like, this first issue is one of the best crossover first issues I've ever read. And it may be because I love both of these sets of characters so much. Like, I grew up watching both, so I'm deeply invested in He-Man and Thundercats from a personal point of view. So really enjoyed it. The art was way better than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't like super thrilled about the art, kind of questioned it, but once I started reading it, it all worked so well.
Yeah, I'm going to show a couple of pictures here to anybody that's watching. You got Mumra. You got Mumra here, artwork by Freddie Williams. Really good. You see Mumra right here in his little mummy form, and he forms. Yeah, man. I seen that. I was like, God, man, this is like really bringing back memories. I'm like, yo, they're really going there, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. We even got Snarf. Snarf even shows up and says, "Snarf, snarf."
Snarf, snarf.
Snarf.
I remember Snarf.
Mhm.
Talking about this, a lot of people like that with Batman and TMNT. People said it was so much fun that actually comic book stores were actually selling out when those were coming out. And I think TMNT #1 went at least to a second printing, maybe even a third. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it did, and I think the trade just came out like a couple weeks ago. Also, once it finished up, the other one they just did was Transformers and GI Joe.
Yes.
I did not read that one, but now based off this one, I want to go back and read that one to see if it was just as good.
Yeah, and I remember when Dreamwave had Transformers and GI Joe. There was a lot of crossovers then as well with the two. But asking you and asking the chat, what other '80s cartoons do you think that we need to see crossovers with?
Man, there's so many.
Well, remember Mask? You got Mask.
Well, that's all going on right now with IDW. They've got IDW Revolution going on right now. They've got Mask. They just brought Mask back with all the cars and vehicles and everything. So Mask #1 just started like 2 weeks ago, I think. So they've got them. They've got GI Joe, Transformers, something else that I'm forgetting. So they've got all those and can kind of intermix all those. What's up?
Do you remember Silverhawks?
Oh yeah, which is Thundercats in space.
Thundercats in space, yeah.
It was the same art and same voice actors.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All right. Well, anybody in the chat, if y'all want to let us know what kind of '80s crossovers we need to be doing, or maybe DC needs to be doing, I think it'd make for a good discussion. Rez, how are you? What have you been doing this week?
I'm pretty good. Just been collecting some hardcovers, some European comics. Just not really too much single issues. I have my weekly pull. It's kind of behind. It gets to me like maybe 7 days late, but I dipped into a few Marvel things, but I have yet to read them.
What'd you get, Marvel-wise?
I got Moon Girl, the Moon Girl and Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I got Jessica Jones.
Nice.
And Mosaic.
Nice. I think.
Did you read Jessica Jones yet?
I have yet to watch. I mean, not watch it, but I have yet to read it. But
okay,
I'm really excited about it. I've been trying to track down an affordable copy of the omnibus for a while. So this is kind of like my chance of at least getting into the print version of Jessica Jones. You know, since I've already delved into the show. You know? Yeah.
I mean, any of the big box stores like Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, you can find the Alias trades.
Yeah.
So for pretty cheap. I think they're like $14.
I was hoping to get the omnibus, but, you know, sometimes the trades are better, I guess, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, especially, I like the single issues too, but for stories like that and going back, especially like the single issues of Alias are ridiculous now because of the Netflix show.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, nah, trade. If I read it and I love it in trade form, then maybe I'll try to get the singles at some point. But
yeah. But yeah, I just been collecting a lot of things. I collected up Star Slammers, a complete collection. I have it signed by Walter Simonson.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it's pretty cool.
Another one other than Ragnarok.
What
is that? That's an Walt. She said Walt Simonson. Is that Rez? Is that an old title or is that a new title?
It's the complete collection of his Star Slammer. I mean, I prefer collected editions. So anything that's collective of singles or I typically usually delve into. And I read last week a few things that I really, really liked that stood out so much, which was Eric Powell's Big Man Plans. Absolutely loved loved that series. It was so awesome. It actually, when I picked it up and I started reading it, immediately the first thing that dropped in my mind was Skin by Peter Milligan and Brendan McCarthy, which was at one point very controversial because of the fact that the main character in the comic was suffering from a disorder called thalidomide, and he was very violent and he was a skinhead. So, they had a lot of situations where a lot of publishing houses would not actually publish the comic. And now, it's modern day 2016, and we have this series by Eric Powell called Big Man Plans, very violent, I think even more violent than Skin, and it has a man who suffers from dwarfism. Pretty much kind of same premise, if you ask me, like a revenge tale, pretty much. A very misplaced character who has gone through a lot and is, just seeking revenge against people he feels has wronged him. And with this series, with Big Man Plans, the character has actually, there was no issue with the series being published, and I find it really intriguing and interesting, just in that premise alone. But very, very interesting series. I loved it. I know it's out in trade, but I collected the single issues, and I also collected all the variants that I could. I'm missing about 2 of them, but
yeah, definitely. That was. I remember when that was coming out in singles. We actually had a writer who wrote about it and was utterly offended by one of the issues. I don't remember which one it was, but she did not like that book. So I'm going to go back and find that, and I'm going to ask you about some of the stuff she said in it.
Yeah, I'm telling you that the whole entire series was just so freaking awesome. I can't even. It's something that it never leaves you, and there's only a few. Like I honestly, out of my whole entire library, there's only a few series that I've ever read back to back, and put down, and then want to read it again. Maybe at a later date, and then read it again. So it's very wonderful when you encounter that. So Skin, Big Man Plans. There's some Daniel Klaus like a Velvet Glove, Cast in Iron, which is a huge favorite of mine. Just those series, I find myself always drawn to them. Max Immortal. That's another one that I reread this week. I mean, I always pick up Rick Vetch and and reread. I reread the Braxis and Earthman, which was like his take on Moby Dick, but a more surrealistic take on it.
Yeah.
And I reread some of the One and the Rare Bits series, so I can talk about it later on a later date. But I always love reintroducing myself to those works. Always a treat.
Gotcha. I'm just trying to find this. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just listening to y'all talk. I'm eating pita chips.
Pita chips.
Go ahead.
But I did get a hold of. I finally got a hold of the whole seven issues so far of Hillbilly. I mean, I pre-ordered everything, and so I was 3 when it came out. It was sold out everywhere. I mean, I couldn't get no one to get me a copy. I mean, I was called everywhere, every shop online, every shop in town. No one had it, and they have re-released it. So I guess it was a second printing, maybe a first printing, or someone brought it in. But as soon as I saw it online, I snagged it up, and I should be getting those reprints of 1 and 2 in soon, so it's just real nice to get that series in. If it's anything like Big Man Plans, I'm really excited.
Nice. I still have yet to even see a copy of Hillbilly. So.
Really?
You can't get a copy unless your name is Marty or Tim.
Mary.
Tim sent Marty a #1 first print. Over on Comic Book Fanatic, so I was drinking the haterade just a little bit during that day. So
I don't blame you. It's
well,
not fair.
#1s for pretty cheap though on the Bay. I've been seeing people selling them for like $6, $3.
Man, I've been still trying to get Once Our Land.
Really?
Yeah, that one's like still hard to get to.
Yeah, his series, he's really smart when the way he does his advertising. It's just like it hits you, and the moment by the time you hear the information on his series, they're already like just gone. But I mean, I really like so I mean, like I said, if it's anything like Big Man Plans, then I'm definitely gonna be loving Hillbilly. But it makes you a little suspicious because everyone loves it so much. It makes you wonder, like, is it really that good?
Yeah, or is it just hype?
Yeah, yeah.
Rez, did you? You didn't read Lake of Fire, did you?
I did not read Lake of Fire, although that's one of my favorite songs by, by Nirvana. So,
Nice.
but I mean, it's the only reason why I would get it is because that, you know, reminds me of that. But yeah, I don't know. Is it about I think the premise was something about medieval. I don't know. You know, I'm more of a not really the medieval type of gal. Even though I mean, it's okay. I wouldn't jump in head first or anything. Is it okay?
Yeah, you get a lot of that. You get a lot of that Thor dialogue, Thor type dialogue.
Yeah, it's written kind of old English stuff. But I mean, if you like, I think I was telling Jose or whatever. If you like, you know, ancient aliens and basically if you like the History Channel, you'd like Lake of Fire. That's the way I sell it to people.
Yeah, I like the History Channel a little bit.
You can skip it for now, then.
Yeah. So I guess it would be all right in my mind. I mean, if anything, I'm more into like you know old Egypt type of you know mythology, Greek mythology, Roman mythology.
Right.
For some reason, I don't know why, but the knights and like Templar type of situations, and even Conan. I don't know why I've never gotten to Conan, but whenever I've even had people like offer to give me their Conan books, and I'm like, yeah, thank you, no, thank you.
That's good. Yeah, don't take it if it's just gonna be a waste. That's for sure.
I mean, I would read it. I would read it for sure, but I would just be like, you know, I just haven't really heard. I really don't know what run of Conan is the best, but usually I hear a lot of Conan is not all that great.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to think about it. There's not a whole lot of story you can do there other than like magic and stuff, you know, because otherwise it's just a guy with a sword running through and killing everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Do you guys find modern books being a good read still more so than the back issues, or do you think back issues still have a lot of rereadability?
For me, honestly, I feel like I really think that the way modern reads are, they're very satisfying for those who want immediate story. Mm. You know, they don't want to wait, and you know, they don't want a slow burn type of read. When you go back and dig into these older series, you're going to encounter that. You're going to encounter the fact that they have ads placed all over the place. You know, and come in contact with these plots that end on a lot of cliffhangers, and it takes a very long time to get going and get motion and gain some kind of traction. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like both, but sometimes I feel like I want to stop collecting newer issues, you know, newer series, mm-hmm. and collect more older things. So I don't know. It depends. You know, I definitely find more nuggets going older than I do newer.
Yeah. A lot of newer books, I'm like, after a few issues or stuff, I'm like, man, I could have waited.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling lately.
I didn't have to get this right now. But
yeah,
back issues are always fun to me to pick up, especially if I'm trying to fill in runs or stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I love those older stories because then you can go forward and see if they've actually used any of those stories, you know? Be like, well, this happened in Thor in the 70s. If you go to read like Thor now, does he still have that same thing, you know, or whatever? So I mean, it's fun to kind of do that. Thor's a bad example.
I was just asking because Rev said that she didn't know, you know, like what version of Conan to get, and you know, I think of some of the people in the comic book community how they grew up on the old Conan and might not like the newer Conan so much. So that's just kind of why I threw that question out there, because you made me think about that.
Yeah.
Well, we got an answer. Jackio in the comments said the 80s Marvel Conan books are good, especially the first 30 issues or so. It's all right. Okay. So now we know where to start. I know there's like a new Conan. There's a new Conan series out right now, but I have not picked it up. All right.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Jesse's in the comments. So what's up, JLS Comics, man? Thanks for being here.
Jesse.
And definitely be safe. He's down there getting hit with the hurricane right now. So be safe, man.
Yeah, we are
Oh,
too.
man.
All our schools are closed.
Mm.
Yeah, it's already the weather has changed drastically over here.
What time's it supposed to get to you?
Maybe tonight or something. From what I'm gathering, everything's kind of like ghost towny at the moment.
Nice.
Everybody's already out indoors and waiting.
Wow, I didn't even realize. Thanks so much for joining us, Rez. I forget that actually a lot of you guys are over there on the East Coast. So I hope things. You got your food rations, you got your water, you got all that stuff.
I made sure I stocked up on some things. I went to the grocery store like maybe an hour or two ago. Stocked up on some things. Hopefully my electricity doesn't go out again. This happened. It was weird. It just happened. It happened like 2 or 3 times. It took forever to get back on. So hopefully when I wake up, I have electricity.
Yeah.
And you're stocked up on comic books too, right?
Yep, for sure.
That's like the most important thing.
Stacks on stacks.
All right.
You can always eat comic books if we run out of food.
It'd be something.
Yeah. I'm gonna eat the newer issues. They taste better.
Right.
The new ink is so fresh.
Yeah.
I can taste the color yellow.
Yeah.
Rez, did you get a chance to watch Luke Cage at all?
I only watched a few episodes, so that's why I kind of was like, "Oh, you guys are about to spoil it for me."
No. Let's hear your thoughts. What did you think about it?
Well, I mean, I loved it.
No spoilers.
I loved it. It felt like I've been noticing a lot of people saying that it feels like some kind of Quentin Tarantino type of esque feeling. I guess the way it's playing out. I mean, I don't know. I kind of maybe I don't really know. I mean, I've watched, like I said, a few episodes. Maybe I need to watch a few more to get that feel. But I mean, I like where it's going so far.
What's his name? Enrique from Big East Comics. He said that it did have that. Him along with somebody else, I forget the moment, said that it did kind of have a throwback feel.
Yeah. It felt
especially
throwback.
with the music and stuff.
The opening theme, the music of the opening theme, like that is completely throwback.
Yeah, no, it felt throwback for sure, but I just don't know if it felt Tarantino-ish. I mean, maybe that's because it's later on and later episodes that people watched. That's why I felt that way. But not the first 2, at least for me. I didn't.
No, I didn't get that. I didn't get a Tarantino feel out of the.
But I loved what I watched though, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw as
I
soon
liked it
as.
more than Jessica Jones.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I really liked Jessica Jones, but I think the ending of Jessica Jones, the first season, kind of maybe took me out of it. The last 2 or 3 episodes, it kind of got like a little gimmicky and a little too jokey, kind of, and it seemed so serious as the first half season,
We do get a character from Jessica Jones make an appearance.
Yeah, I saw.
In Luke Cage.
I saw some advertisements about that.
Yeah. So that was all right. We'll see if she actually becomes a character at some point.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah, my wife really liked it when Faith Evans made an appearance. We got to see her on stage singing again, and I was like, "Wow, Faith Evans!" But then I thought about the whole background with Biggie up in the top office, and I was like, "Oh, okay, it made complete sense."
Yeah. No, I mean, I liked it the way they introduced all the different characters, and they pulled a whole bunch of people in that you've seen in other stuff. So like the guy who played Pop, he's been on like everything we might have.
Oh, yeah, okay. She'll pop back in if she can. Yeah, you're right. The guy who played Pop, he seems to be always a Pop somewhere now on some TV show or movie.
Let's see. We got Eculus is saying everybody's talking Luke Cage. I got to turn my Netflix back on. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And Jackie said it's got that 70s New York film vibe, which Tarantino does a lot. So yeah, I can see where people are like drawing comparisons to a Tarantino type film. I just didn't, when I watched it, that didn't cross my mind. But now that people have said it, I can kind of see it, you know?
Yeah. Going back to the Marvel Now real quick, I wanted to talk to you about Death of X. Did you get a chance to read that?
I did.
What did you think, man?
I thought it was a good setup book. Like, we got, you know, our split factions. We got our X-Men going to Muir Island because there was a distress call, and we got our Inhumans that are just following the Terrigen Mist around so they can pick up new Inhumans whenever they show up. So and like I said, we already know pretty much everything that happened in this first issue, because this is going back in time till right after Secret Wars and telling us what happened right after. Because remember, after Secret Wars, all the books started 8 months later.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. I don't remember because I did not read the Secret Wars. I've been on a Marvel, not hiatus, but kind of just not really buying a whole lot of Marvel right now. But you've read this stuff.
Yeah.
Can you fill us in or catch us up a little bit? Catch me up a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, well, so after Secret Wars, when we started 8 months later, all we were finding out was that all the mutants were sick. And that's why Extraordinary X-Men, that's why they moved the Xavier Mansion to Limbo. Magic moved the whole school to Limbo because they couldn't stay on Earth. Like, anytime that cloud of mist comes around, mutants are getting sick. Like, Rogue's getting the boils. She's having to take medicine and stuff like that. So what Death of X is doing and is taking us back to show us where this first came from, where they first figured out about the mutant pox, stuff like that. I'm getting some crazy feedback. No, it's okay now.
Okay.
It's okay now. All right. But so we're going back, and that's what the first part of this book, or half of this book, is about. Is the X-Men go to Muir Island because there's a distress call, pretty much. They're having an emergency there. They go, and everybody's been wiped out. You know, even Multiple Man, but there doesn't look like there's been an attack or anything like that. So just seeing how that kind of evolves and how Cyclops takes it, you know, is the big thing in the direction of what this miniseries is going to do. But the weird thing about this one, though, is if you read through this book and got to like page 10, you saw an advertisement for X-Men versus Inhumans, which is that a secondary book that's coming out?
Which is definitely something I was going to bring up. I'm thinking again back in 2011 Avengers versus X-Men. I'm like, oh man, here we go again. And you're definitely seeing the setup. Justin, I mean, you obviously know way more about the stuff than I do. I'm definitely seeing where this whole storyline is going with the Terrigen Mist. I just think it's I don't know. I'm just sad to be seeing this happening. I read this as well, and I didn't think it was worth the money. $4.99.
Yeah, it's an expensive book.
Price. I think, and I'll even tell people, all you really need to do, and Justin, if this is true, that you know a lot of this stuff already, then to me, all you really need to do is read the last 2 pages of this book, and you'll kind of know what's going on before you spend $4.99. Also, Justin, I did not like the artwork. I did not like the artwork at all. I thought it was very amateurish, and I also thought that the colors were not very good either. I felt like Jose.
The faces were not good.
Yeah, absolutely. The facial expressions were not very good. I felt like Jose, our preferred presser, Comics and Stuff, could have done a much better job, probably with most of this book. But I felt like I got ripped off, man. I really did. Like
this face, I can't. This is supposed to be Emma behind Scott right here. I can draw better than that. Right, Emma's supposed to be beautiful. Emma Frost, but
just like a mannequin.
But I will say though that the Inhumans versus X-Men issue 0 that comes out in November. Like, that actually looks really good. That reminds me, it may be the same person who's doing the art on Ultimates right now. So that looks kind of good.
I did notice that artwork actually does look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of the artist that did Superman when the New 52 came out. He had kind of like this watercolor type of look with the colors. That cover definitely looks really good. So it makes me wonder, like, so you think this would be like the final battle with the X-Men, or is this totally going into segueing into the new storylines with the end of the X titles?
You mean, yeah, they're all going to relaunch?
Yeah, like the X titles are done, and then they're just now starting these stories again with all the X-Men characters, but in different titles.
Yeah.
Basically, what I'm saying, making an official. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I take it you're going to continue to pick this up, the other 3 issues.
Yeah. I mean, if you aren't invested in this story, I would say stay away and just wait for the trade, or borrow it from someone when they get it if you're not digging the art. But I'll stick with it because I want to see what happens. I got to know what happened to Cyclops, you know? Because after Secret Wars, he's dead. You know, something happened. He's dead. He's missing, whatever. So we're supposed to find out in this, and that's kind of a big deal for me because, I mean, if you look at the X-Men, yeah, you've got Storm as like their main leader now, but you've taken away in the last 5 or 6 years, you've taken away Professor X and Cyclops. So like the main 2 leaders of the team that we've had for 40, 50 years are gone now, you know? So I need to know what happened.
Yeah. Well, and another thing I do want to point out is that I just counted the pages. There's actually 28 pages for $4.99. So I guess it's not that bad of a deal because you get those 8 extra pages. But I still don't think it's worth the price. I think you should just at least, read the last 2 pages and then wait to the next issue, or do what you said, Justin. Just wait till the trade comes out.
Yeah, I do. They mentioned about the Magic cover. There's a cover, a variant cover with Magic on it. I want to pick that one up too. I think Jesse said he picked that one up.
Okay. So we got Rez back. Rez, you there?
She's on mute.
She's on mute. Rez, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You still having trouble, aren't you, with that weather out there?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I'm not. It's like I want to move to Florida, but the times like these, you're like, why?
Right. Just stay inland as much as possible. Huh?
Is that? Have we heard from Jose? Is he okay? I haven't heard from him.
Neither have I. Actually, if you guys want to talk a little bit, Rez, if you got anything you want to talk about, feel free. I'm going to actually try to hit Jose up and see what's going on with him.
Okay. Okay. So I know you really loved Seven to Eternity.
I did.
I just liked it. I mean, I feel kind of bad, but it was okay. And
yeah,
I loved the art though. I loved it. I love the art. It was beautiful.
Well, I mean, the story goes like we've heard the story before, you know.
Yeah, that's where
we've heard the story before. Somebody gets exiled out of their kingdom because they got a problem with the king, and then years later they're going to come ahead and come wipe you out, finish that business up that they had with you, you know.
Yeah.
Something goes wrong or whatever. So the first issue, more than anything, I thought was just kind of an introduction to that world, which I liked.
Yeah.
And like you said, the art. So I'm really looking forward to issue 2 to see what's different. You know, where's Rick Remender taking us on this story that we haven't seen before? You know.
Yeah. What I can't help but thinking about Black Science when I'm reading this. I feel like it's the same. You know how when you first got introduced to Black Science, I honestly the first 3 trades, no, maybe the first 2 trades were so freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those first, was it 10 issues maybe? I think it was the first 8 to 10 issues.
I just picked up the first trade of Black Saints like a couple weeks ago.
Did you? And they were just so good. And then I just I got to the third and the fourth trade, and it just something fell off for me. I don't know what it was, but it just didn't feel. I'm wondering, I'm hoping that it doesn't do the same with this new Seven to Eternity. So
I don't think it's ongoing. I think it's I think it's got a
6 or 8.
yeah. I think it's got a defined end. Because Rick Remender's writing 8 books right now.
Yeah. You know who else is doing a lot too? What's her name?
Marguerite Bennett.
Yep. How'd you know? Yeah, she's doing a lot. She's doing a new Batwoman, right?
Yeah, so she's doing stuff for DC. She's doing 2 books over at Aftershock.
Animosity. Yeah. She's just doing a lot.
Yeah, because what came out this week that I picked up? Yeah, her book, Insects.
You know what? I took pictures of that series to ask someone about it because I was very curious.
It's got
the illustration style.
It's got Medusa on the cover. You like mythology? Come on.
Yeah, I keep saying to pick it up, and then I take the picture, and then I never. I think it's because I can't find all the issues. That's why I didn't pick it up.
Yeah, but, well, I mean, it should be. It's up to issue 8, so maybe there's a trade for the first one. I don't know.
Yeah,
but if there is,
how good is it though?
It's actually really good. It is a mature book, so I wouldn't let the kids grab it. There's lots of graphic stuff in this title. But so far, I've really enjoyed it. If nothing else, the art's beautiful. So
I've been grabbing quite a few crazy reads as of late. I had I purchased a book by Mike Diana. I don't know if you've ever heard of him before.
I don't think so.
It's a book called Fire Brat. If you look it up, it's pretty crazy. But I had it was offered by Last Gasp. You know that company. So they usually put out some pretty borderline pornographic stuff.
Right.
So I picked that up and I found it for pretty cheap. Not like super cheap, but cheaper than what the cover price was. But he was, I think his backstory was what was really intriguing to me. Mike Diana apparently was the first cartoonist to ever get arrested and jailed and put on probation for obscenity.
Oh wow!
So, yeah.
Where's this stuff from? Is it from here or Canada?
No. Look it up on a computer real quick and look up Mike Diana. It's crazy. It's crazy that but I don't know how I came in contact with it. I think because I was just looking through on one of those like Quimbys, whatever, and I found some stuff referencing him. Like I found a comic. I think Rick Spears. I ran into a comic that I was reading by Rick Spears that referenced Mike Diana, and then I wanted to know who Mike Diana was, and so I looked him up, and then I found this comics, and I said, let me see what's going on with this guy. Why, what happened to him? Really crazy. I knew he was gonna have a reaction. I knew it was coming. I knew.
Okay. Wasn't ready for that, but all right.
I know.
He's done a lot of T-shirt work and stuff too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen some of his stuff, but okay, he's from New York. But I just thought that was weird that he got arrested for that type of stuff here.
I know, right?
Because you mentioned European stuff that you picked up, and I'm like, maybe he's a European dude.
Oh no! I did pick up some, a lot of European stuff, but I picked that up too, and I was like, oh my god, this is so crazy! I don't think I can even show this on my channel because people are gonna be so upset if they see this Fire Brat cover. I
love that they have him titled as an underground cartoonist.
Yeah, he's below. I mean, it's a different type of underground than I don't even know. That's his stuff is crazy,
Mm-hmm.
But I think I wouldn't be me if I didn't grab it and see what was going on in there.
Well, yeah, you got to check it out, see if it's worth it.
Yeah. But I can see why the person was selling it for cheaper than they bought it because it still had the price tag on it and everything. It was like, dang,
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh.
If you think about it, though, it's no worse than what Gilbert Hernandez put out with Blubber, which was really, really different than his Love and Rockets, his usual Love and Rockets series.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read his Blubber before?
I have not.
Crazy, let me tell you. Pretty much the same stuff. It's not as I guess angsty Like Mike Diana seems very, very angsty and very, very, I guess, misanthropic, as someone just recently said. And I said, yeah, you know what? It is really, misanthropic when you read it, But
with just the right amount of angst.
yeah, just the right amount of angst and a lot of nudity.
Which is everywhere. It's just everywhere.
Yeah, and it's everywhere, not enough of everywhere.
Yeah, in the wrong places sometimes.
Yeah. Honestly, I wonder why Britannia doesn't have a lot of it.
Yeah, you would think, because that would just be normal back then.
Exactly. And I was reading that thinking, where is it?
It's Valiant.
Yeah.
They're not going to go that extreme as they're trying to build up their brand and get some movies going.
Yeah. The facial expressions in there just seem so off. It's something about it. It's just, it makes me always squinch my eyes, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I like the illustration style, but then I'm like, what am I looking at? It evokes these emotions in me when I look at the faces, especially that of that one ruler, the one whiny one, the one who's impotent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I'm looking at him, I'm like, what is his deal? I don't like his face, the way he looks.
What do you say? Hold on. Yep.
Oh, you're looking at his face real quick?
And I was looking at Edwin just said something. He's got to step away for like 15 minutes, so
Okay.
we get to hold it down for a little while.
Okay.
Yay!
Yeah.
Another new book that came out this week that you might like from Image is Romulus. Did you see this?
Romulus. Yeah, someone recommended that to me, and I've been looking. What I honestly been looking at? Some heavy metal comics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they got a book.
Aftermath. Have you seen that? Aftermath, Big Clean. That art in there is so freaking beautiful. It reminds me of like something that would look. I mean, that came right out of the heavy metal. I said, I don't. I didn't trust Grant Morrison at first. Because.
Yeah,
he's all over the place. His writing style sometimes can get a little too pretentious in ways, but I think I'm gonna start collecting the newer issues of heavy metal, and I'm definitely gonna start getting into the comic series for sure.
yeah. No. They've got some good books coming out of that company too that are not exactly, just those. What's going on? The Doorman is a really good series that Heavy Metal's putting out, kind of about like I can't remember if it's different worlds or different universes, but each planet has a doorway on it, right?
Oh wow!
And there's a doorman stationed at each of those doors, and it's like anything else. People have permission to leave and come through. People don't have their passports right, and they can't go to these planets and stuff like that. And what all kind of ensues with that, like. I don't know. Everybody across the galaxy who has that job as the doorman on their world.
Oh wow!
Really, really good art. He actually interviewed the creator of that series a while back, so that one's definitely one worth picking up out of Heavy Metal if you haven't grabbed it yet.
Yeah, I'll definitely grab that one because I was looking at all the series that they were offering right now for subscription, and that one didn't come across, and I now see that it's because it's already finished. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna grab that because that sounds like right up my alley. But I grabbed the reincarnate or Nate reincarnate. I grabbed that one. I grabbed Aftermath, Big Clean. I had to track down a few of the issues different places because they sold out very very quickly.
Yeah,
the variant covers especially, and My pull list right now is looking so crazy. I have so much series. I can't even believe that I'm pulling as much as I am. But
no, yeah, it's ridiculous. Especially like I was just thinking about it this week. Like, for me, it's a lot of the big two stuff, just because that's what I like and what I'm trying to catch up on. Not so much catch up on, but keep up on. So what? especially like DC Rebirth is going on. It's been going on. So some of those are kind of dying out, and I can start kind of cutting some of those books out a little bit, that I'm like, but now with Marvel Now, again, starting all new, different Marvel Now again. I think that's what I'm going to call it.
I'm wondering about the not because they have the new Moon Girl label now, but it's already at number 11, so it kind of is confusing.
Right. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and they're actually going to be a part of. I'm pretty sure they're going to be in Champions.
Okay.
So that was a number 1 that came out this week from them.
Okay.
So they're gonna, because they show up at the end, and I'm thinking they're gonna show up. If you like that character, they'll probably at least be in a story arc really soon in Champions.
Okay.
But it was pretty good. But along the same lines with all these new ones, like Champions came out, Jessica Jones came out. Like, so there's more new books coming out from Marvel. Like DC and Marvel combined had like 10 number 1s this week, not counting like 5 number 1s that came out from Image.
Yeah. I'm actually really anticipating quite a few reads, especially my arrival of Hard Case. Hard Case series, Triggerman and Peoplin. So those Hard Case Crime, by Titan. Mm-hmm. I have both of those. I got variants for those. I'm picking up a lot of variants as of late. It's really weird because usually I'm not into that, but I said, whatever. I'll go ahead and grab 1 or 2. And one series in particular that I always make sure I grab at least one of the variants for is Zombie Tramp, which I absolutely love. I love that series by Dan Mendoza and Trom.
I've heard some good things about it. Maybe I've heard good things about it from you.
Yeah. He contacted me. Dan Mendoza came on my YouTube channel.
Oh wow!
And, he commented like 3 times on 2 of my videos, and he retweeted and liked a comment that I made on Twitter.
See, and isn't that one of the best things about like enjoying some of the indie books and stuff like that?
Yeah,
you can like get interaction with the creators of those books so easily.
Yeah, it is, and it's crazy because it's another series that it was a series I kickstarted that I contributed to the Kickstarter. I backed, and but before I did the Kickstarter, I purchased from the creator, and he has been so communicative, so awesome. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I've just been having a really good week with these creators and writers. They've been, talking to me, interacting with me, and it's just a good feeling because it makes you feel appreciated, as a client, or customer of their, or a lover of their work and stuff. So,
right.
Makes you want to stay in that realm, it's the indie realm where someone's going to recognize you. Because I know I had my first experience trying to reach out to a creator was I reached out to Richard Starkings of Elephant Man, and I felt kind of snubbed by him because I kind of went on a little like, hey, I love your series, and I love it, this and this and this, and I was like, when's the next hardcover coming out? And I didn't get not even like I got maybe 2 words from him, not yet. That was it. I'm like, well, I don't get any kind of like thank you for being a fan and have a good day or no thanks or just not yet. I'm too busy to answer to you, kind of answer. And yeah. So it kind of turned me off for a while, and I was almost, I guess, hesitant to ever contact a writer or creator and just let them know I love their work and I want to read more. But now I'm not so much trepidatious about doing it,
Yeah, and especially if you're doing like a video review or talking about something on theirs, and you just tag them in the tweet that you send out about it or something. Like, I've gotten good responses in that way, I think.
Yeah, I've been getting more into that because of this blog that I write for. I write the reviews for Fear the Walking Dead, and they make you tag the actors and actresses in the blog, and I'm like, I don't want to tag them. They're going to look at what I wrote.
I only want to tag them when it's a good review.
Yeah, because most of the time when I'm like, I usually tag. It's crazy how I do it, but usually my reviews are always this. Most of the time when I review the series, I always have qualms with this one character, the one that For Maddie, she plays Maddie. Kim Dickens, she plays Maddie in the series, and I never like her and what she does in the series. It's always a problem for me, but I always tag her in my reviews. I know, because I'm like, why do I do this? Why do I keep tagging her, knowing dang on well she's gonna read this and be like, oh, this so and so.
But maybe that's what she's going for. Maybe that's her whole idea behind the character, is to make it to where you don't like it. So she sees that and she's like, "Yay, I'm doing it."
She's so cringe. I don't know if you watch Fear the Walking Dead, but her acting is so horrible in that series. It's like she literally, before the series really started getting momentum, she made a statement that she wanted her character to be the female Rick Grimes, and as the series has progressed, but as the series has progressed, she seriously tried to become Rick by, donning this fake accent, this fake Southern accent. Like, I mean, she was a California woman, right? Mm-hmm. And she talks, I guess, like a Californian, LA person, I suppose, and had that accent. And then next thing you know, she has this deep Southern accent. I'm like, no. I live in North Carolina where they...
I'm from Georgia.
Yeah, so you know how they talk. And I'm like, look, come on, this is not your, come on, you're not fooling me. You're not fooling me here. So I always make a point to bring it up in some of my reviews, how her accent really bothers me. It's very unauthentic, and just her decision making. It's very poor decision making skills.
I don't know how they're doing that. When's the second season of that one start?
Well, the second season already started. It actually ended last Sunday, the Sunday that just passed. So thank God I have a break from reviewing that horrible show. I mean, I watch, of course I watch it because I had to review it, but, some people will say, why do you keep watching it? Well, I actually have to watch it to review it, but...
it's like a hobby job.
Yeah, because, some of the fanboys, they'll get mad at you and like, well, you shouldn't watch it if you don't like it, and you must like it if you watch it. The Walking Dead fans, they're just the worst, honestly.
Because I haven't watched Fear the Walking Dead at all. Like, I have seen zero of it.
The first season is the best, honestly, but if you watched just episode 14 out of season 2, that was the best freaking episode of the second season. Seriously, I'm telling you, after I saw episode 14, I was crushed. My heart was like, literally, I felt like it was broken. Like, how a boyfriend just dumped you, kind of feeling, or a girlfriend in your case, but, I felt like I was dumped, and it was horrible. It was just not a good feeling.
Boo.
Yeah, but it was the thing is that they had this character death, but the way they killed the character, it was very hard. I felt like they didn't do it in the right way. I think they could have played it out a little bit better, but I suppose they did what they did. Maybe it was fan request. They were tired of having people ask for this person to maybe pass, or
like, get rid of that person.
Yeah,
we're tired of that character.
Yeah. I imagine you watched the regular Walking Dead, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You read the comic too?
No.
I've read the comic.
I never really jumped into it. I mean, I did for a while. I was picking up, maybe I picked up like 5 or 6 issues, but for whatever reason, I just never, I like the TV show, but I guess because at the point I even started paying attention to the comic book, it was already well after issue 100. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go back and read 100 issues.
I imagine you wouldn't want to do that. But you know what? Honestly, I love the Telltale games, the walkthroughs. I like watching. They're much more emotional to me because you have to watch someone's decision-making skills. Oh, yeah. And for me, it's way more impactful, and I'm way more invested in the walkthroughs than I actually am with the TV series or the comic. It's amazing. It's amazing, but I will sit and watch the walkthroughs for hours. And I'll watch a different person, see what decisions they make, and it's so much more powerful to me.
Yeah. Now, I'll have to check those out because I've enjoyed watching people play the Batman Telltale game that just came out recently.
Yeah.
and kind of how they go through that. And like you're saying, the decisions they make impact what's going to happen later on and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's a game I need to buy and play myself. Actually,
I played the first season of Telltale Walking Dead, and I was like, generally, I was a little frightened playing it myself.
Was that spooky?
It's just like when the zombies come at you, I was like, oh goodness gracious. I didn't expect that. It was just a little, kind of like when you watch Stranger Things, like,
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Yeah. Caught me by surprise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that's what I loved about that series, Stranger Things. Things caught me by surprise. I didn't expect it to be like holding my children tightly.
It's a Netflix show. What's going on?
Yeah. You expect Netflix to be like, just okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They're just getting better, aren't they?
Well, that and it's starring kids, so it's like, okay, so kind of like a Goonies story. Is that what we're getting? We're getting like a Goonies? No?
Yeah.
Not exactly. Not at all.
Yeah, not at all. Not in the least. A little more mature than
Just a little bit.
Have you watched Sense8 series by the Wachowskis?
I have not.
Sisters. It's a pretty good series as well too. It's really good. Nice sci-fi series.
No, I've heard good things about it, but I haven't powered through like I did with Luke Cage.
Yeah, not enough people watch that series. It's so crazy. Sense8 was just really, really good.
Was it like it's sci-fi or what is it?
Yeah, it's definitely sci-fi for sure. But it's where these individuals are connected to each other and they're able to like somehow transport themselves and their what's their beings? Like their spirits, or I don't want to say spirit because it's not really just
consciousness.
Their consciousness, yeah. And they're able to transfer that consciousness to another location, and they're able to, like for instance, if they're transferring over to this one person who is natively Korean, they're able to speak Korean just like that person, learn their skills. So it's really strange, but it's really good, and it's really cool series. And I don't think enough people talk about it. Same thing with River. I don't think enough people talk about Stellan Skarsgård. Yeah, River from off Netflix. It started off as a BBC show, but you have Nicola, I think Nicola something on there, Walter or something. But Stellan Skarsgård is the star of the show, and it's absolutely brilliant show. I loved it.
All right. What I missed? I gotta repeat everything all over again and tell me what I missed.
It's a lot.
River's a BBC series?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It's so awesome, and you should binge it for sure.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, you got it. I'm telling you, everyone I've told to watch it, they've watched it, and they come back to me and they tell me I loved it. So I know I'm not steering you wrong.
Yeah, I like the guy. Oh yeah. He's what's his name? No, he's not.
He's the guy who plays on the Thor movies.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
And he's Tarzan's father, real father in real life.
Oh, and he's got a sister too, right? What's the sister's name? She's in stuff too, right?
I know he has a lot of sons, and he also played the villain in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the American version, with Rooney Mara. Remember, he played the guy who, yeah.
Not much, Edwin. We were just having some TV talk along with some indie comic talk.
Hey, guys. Thank you so much for holding it down. I took a nap earlier, and I realized I had to get my medication, but I never picked it up, and the pharmacy closed at 9, so I had to run and grab it real quick. So thank you so much for holding down the fort. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
I also saw Jesse was in there. Hey, Justin, anytime Jesse wants to come on, send him the link, man. He can.
Yeah.
He can hop on. And actually, that being said, anybody who wants to join us on the live chat, send me a message. Let me know what's up. Let me find a way to get in contact with you. Just talk to you just real briefly before you come on. But people are more than welcome to come on if they want to. We got 6 more episodes, and then we're going to finish out for the year. So we'll do 6 more episodes after today, and then we'll be done until 2017. So anybody wants to join us, please feel free.
definitely.
Yep.
So what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and do some closing thoughts and shout outs to you guys, and then we'll end it because we're getting well into, or maybe really close to the 2-hour mark here. So we'll go ahead and start wrapping it up. Justin, do you want to start off?
Sure. Again, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's always a good time to talk with y'all about comics and the world of comics and TV and everything that's going on. This was a pretty solid week for me. One book that I'll mention here in my closing that I didn't mention earlier is Death of Hawkman. This from DC, a book that I normally wouldn't have picked up, but the art is really good. The story is really good in this book. It's a mini series. It's only 6 issues. The first issue is definitely worth picking up for me because I read that what's kind of going on in Justice League United. So good book. Adam Strange is a much cooler character than I gave him credit for back in Justice League United. So
and I apologize about that. We never got into Death of Hawkman. I remember you wanted to talk about that, so my bad.
Oh no, it's all good. It was just like sitting here staring at me, so I had to mention it. Otherwise, I felt bad. But just normal stuff for me coming out. Haul went up yesterday. Probably have a random haul coming up this weekend with some more Thors that I picked up on eBay. I'm in like a crazy Thor picking up mood right now. But that's pretty much all I got going on. Just big thanks to everybody who's checking us out, checking out my channel. I think I'm over 250 subscribers now, so that's a big number for me. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, and be sure to check out Justin, you guys over at Exilestate Comics. Also, he is the managing editor over at comicbook.com. Got that right this time. So check him over at comicbook.com, ED at the end there. So Justin, thank you so much again, man, for coming on board. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Rez, what about you? Shout outs, last thoughts. What's going on?
I want to give a shout out to Aldi's. I went there to get my
Nice.
I had to go there and get like a whole bunch of water and juice and stuff, kind of stock up. But I just want to talk about Black Hammer issue 3. Really, really good series. Not enough people, talking about it, at least reading it. I think it should be selling out just like everything else is selling out. So if you haven't got a chance to pick up Black Hammer, check it out because it's really, really good. And honestly, it's just getting better. And Jeff Lemire, he's just an awesome writer. I can't get enough of Jeff Lemire. And, of course, because I talked about it quite often, Big Man Plans by Eric Powell. It's very gory, very violent, but very good. I love it. And shout-outs to anyone who is deciding to, come over to my channel and subscribe and watch and see what I'm doing. I'm always doing something different. But I'm really enjoying the journey. And I thank you for inviting me on.
Rez, you're always welcome. I appreciate you coming on. Definitely check out Rez, everybody. She is very proactive and building up her channel. I see that a lot. She's just on fire, very ambitious right now. So check her out. Her channel's name is Rez, R-E-S. Also, you guys, you can check out any of our social media links and stuff like that. I'll leave that stuff in the description below, as always. So Rez, thank you so much for joining us. And I want to thank everybody in the chat. We had Eric, EHXT1. We had Iculus. We had Jackio. Jesse swung on by. Shout outs to you, Jesse. Biggie's Comics. Man, who else do we have here? Redbeard. We had Redbeard in the chat. And a few other people. If I missed anybody, I apologize. But thank you so much, everybody in the chat. It was a really good show. Jose wasn't able to come on board. I hope he's doing all right wherever he is at. Keep him in our thoughts and our prayers. I wasn't getting any response back when I was hitting him up. He could be asleep too. The guy gets only 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day. He works so much. But just thank you so much for watching, everybody. I always appreciate it. Please make sure you like, you share, you comment, subscribe. Keep God first in your life, but enjoy your comic books. And God bless you guys. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.